Let's
Cool.
start with BYU and go from there.
Cool. Y'all want to talk about just that as last week's and then just go into this past weekend?
I would.
So we're not like
I'm. No matter what, we shouldn't like break down any of the games, like even from the weeks.
no.
But I'm just saying we should definitely maybe bring up some like the big games the same week as BYU's. Just how it happened. All right, we're live.
Yeah, we can. Go on.
Cool, we're
I
live.
feel like when you talk about BYU, because that was our biggest game this year.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with. I'm fine talking about that. I was just making sure we're not like we go through all of 2 weeks ago and then do all of last weekend's and then we start talking about because rankings don't come out till tonight anyway, so that's for another day.
Yeah.
But
all right, cool. We're live. I got it up. We've been live, but all right, cool.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. After 2 weeks. Has it been 2 or 3 weeks hiatus?
Good 2.5 probably.
Yeah. We sorry we couldn't get out to you earlier, but we kind of had life as crazy as college football has had it this whole time, and I think that's why I named it the way I did. We all had our own little adventures over at Raiderville.
For sure.
For the week of BYU. So none of us had internet access that whole time. We had, I don't know, what did we had going on last week? But we were all busy last week. So
basketball, I guess, probably.
Yeah, basketball got started up, yep. So
Yeah.
Both me and JT have had to show up to all the basketball games. Because we had our one Tuesday, we went to go to the Womble to go watch the practice. Or go watch the game at the practice facility. So we finally found a time to schedule it to get everybody in here, and Sam's gonna join us around 3:30 once he gets out of class. JT's gonna have to leave us a little early. We may stay a little bit after JT leaves. We may not. We'll see what happens. But dogs, we gotta talk about our BYU experience, maybe talk a little bit about Raiderville and what it was like inside of Raiderville, what everybody did for that. And then, of course, we had the UCF game, last home game. Jacob Rodriguez gets a touchdown, trying to seal up his Heisman, or not seal up his Heisman, but get a Heisman vote. And then, of course, we got West Virginia coming up, and, of course, other games from the past 2 weeks that are definitely going to shake up college football, looking at like Oklahoma's win over Alabama last week. But before we get started with that, just want to introduce everybody since we're back. Again, this is Mad Sports Talks. You got Mason Pierce, top right.
What's going on, y'all?
You got AJ Douglas down here at the bottom. And then you got JT DeLoach over in the top left. And then, like I said, Sam Ulrich will be joining us a little bit later when he gets out of class. But yeah, let's go with the guy who started at the front of the line of Raiderville and tell us a little bit of how that went, JT. What were you, like 6/10 in?
We were the 13th group. I had 2 tents or 2 setups, one at College Game Day, and one like in Raiderville itself. It was crazy. My boys got out there on Monday. We got to game day on Monday as well. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. I don't know if any of y'all watched Snapback's video of their time here, but we kind of gave a little glimpse of what it was like. Parties every night, stuff going on, kegs, everything. I mean, it's a crazy atmosphere. And then when you walk over to the game day site, it's just people grilling out and it's more chill. So you had 2 different areas to kind of go to.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it was nuts. Sleeping on the floor and everything, like it was a pain, but it was worth all of it, and just a great weekend in general. A great week, honestly. It just shows how crazy Tech fans are and how crazy we can be and how far we can go when it comes to supporting our team. And I think we talked about this. If it was that crazy for a BYU regular season game, I can't even imagine what it'd be like for playoffs. I know it's a different system, but still. But It was incredible. I mean, game day was incredible. It was definitely from what I saw. Like I was front row on game day. What I was seeing like on the screens when they would show the overhead, it was definitely the most packed game day I've seen in a while, and that's
Yeah.
like an unbiased opinion. Like there was a crap ton of people there. Like it stretched as we were in the frat lot, so it stretched all the way back through the frat lots and then out to the tailgating. I mean, if you just looked at the crowd of people, it was just a sea of red and black. I mean, it was unbelievable to look at.
Yeah.
Shout out John McTough for the kick, making that. I was kind of upset I didn't get it. I had deals with about 70 people or so, which were good odds. Um, just a surreal experience. I mean, if it told me when I was a kid that I'd be experiencing Texas Tech college game day, like ranked 6th in the country, I would never believe it. And it was just pure insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then I guess I'll go into the game a little bit. I don't think the game was as loud as it could have been just because everyone was so like hungover and tired. But no, great experience, great time, just awesome.
See, Mason, I know you didn't get to experience. I'll talk a little bit about my
Yeah.
experience, but give me a quick. Or I'm trying to find some of the videos that I took personally from Raiderville from that week. So that's why I'm saying give me a little bit of time.
It was just, I mean, it was unlike anything I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, it truly, like, you have these tailgating atmospheres around the country. I'm trying to figure out some stuff. You have these tailgating atmospheres around the country, and then you have this. I mean, this was just completely like different. Like it was its own type of tailgating. Like it started on Sunday and it didn't stop through the night. It didn't stop until Friday when we had to pack up. Like it was the craziest thing I've been a part of
Yeah.
ever. And not like I'm trying to be. It sounds biased because I go here, but like unbiased opinion wise, it was genuinely the craziest thing I've ever experienced.
Well, the thing is, we all lived it. Like we were all there for it. So yeah, of course it's going to be a
Yeah,
little biased because
yeah.
we were all at the event when it was happening.
But I mean, it was insanity. I mean, it was just pure chaos, pure fun. You know, you had all these brands bringing food out to people,
Mm-hmm.
players and coaches coming out to the tents. Like, I mean, it was right there in front of the facility. Everyone saw it. It
Yeah.
made national news. Like, it was just pure insanity. I guess the best way I can put it.
Yeah, I was about to say, low key game day the following would have been last weekend. Just didn't have the same like feel. I don't know if y'all felt kind of that same way because I was able to. I just slept in. I said screw it. I'd rather just watch on TV for this.
I
Kind of regret it, but
But I was watching this game now on TV, man, and well, outside of the game was boring as hell. But when we're talking like the atmosphere, absolutely. But I don't know. It was one of those things where it was so unique because it's been so long, and it likely will probably be a little bit before they come back again, just due to how our kind of home
conference schedules, at least for the next few years, aren't like the greatest, which kind of stinks. But no, it was insane. It looked phenomenal. And then where were they at this past weekend? Game day?
Dog,
Yeah,
I slept in.
it
I have
couldn't
no
even
idea.
compare. I mean, it literally felt like a complete downgrade. But
So
yeah,
the problem is Pitt's landlocked, and so they had to do it on the river, which there wasn't much space. But Notre Dame short.
It was-
Yeah. No,
man, we got some. But anyway, I mean, y'all talked about experiences. Let's actually talk about the game because I think that's probably the most important thing that came out of this whole week, right? I would say. Tech obviously ended up getting the dub 29-7 over 7th ranked BYU at the time. Tech being 8th ranked at the time. JT, want to go to you first. You know, you had probably the better vantage point being, I think you were dang near first row. Or were you first row? You're first. Oh, yeah. Okay. Figures. But, all right, get opinions, anything you want to kind of point out with this game?
It should have been 40 to like nothing. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, dude, the red zone offense is what killed it. I mean, it could have easily been 40 to nothing. Like, there's a possibility they wouldn't have scored. Like, I mean, that one drive they had was really good. I'll give them that. Like, they killed us on that drive. Other than that, you take it away. Like, it honestly should have been 42-7 at least.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I was
it
about
was, it was murder. Like, honestly.
I agree with you, especially like just watching over the TV. Like it never seemed close. Like despite the score only being us winning by 22. I mean, if you genuinely sat down and watched this game, I mean BYU they pride themselves on running the football and kind of controlling the game and everything like that. You know, they had their starting running back come back in this game, and LJ Martin, who in my opinion is one of the better backs in the country. I mean, we held him to 35 rushing yards on 10 carries. And then obviously you got the biggest quarterback, and it feels like an FBS, and Bear Bachmeyer, you know, and he's one of those guys that's kind of elusive on the ground. I mean, we held him to 12 yards, obviously taking out sacks and whatnot. But I thought I was really impressed by how well linebackers were. Obviously, our Heisman, Jacob Rodriguez, got a pick in this game and also had a fumble recovery. This overall is just pure BTA by Tech, in my opinion. Offense definitely has got to improve in the red zone. Obviously, the UCF game was a little bit better. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, you know, I think the biggest thing for us, the only downside was really red zone offense and kind of just getting things going. But outside of that, I mean, I was impressed. AJ, you got, yeah. No, my bad, JT. No, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say defense looked elite, and then also I was gonna say we sat in a different section front row, so they had like microphone. We were next to the band, but they had microphones blaring it because it was on ESPN. So it was like It was just really, like bass boosted like band music the whole time, so you couldn't really get a feel for the atmosphere. But like at BYU, like everyone's talking about how nice they are, like all their players and stuff. I just want to say real fast. If the staff member that came up and talked to my group ever sees this, don't do that again, bro. Like you have no place. Like you're not even a coach. You're just standing on the sideline. Like don't be so butthurt next time. Like that's all I have to say. Into number one, I think it was the defensive back. You're trash, bro. Like you're actually awful. So if you're gonna talk, actually back it up. That's all I have to say.
Ooh, fighting words. I will say though, one thing with BYU's defense, it was not off. Like their linebacking core, like their front seven is actually pretty decent. I will say. Like I know, it's kind of like I kind of felt like for them it was almost like their ASU game because it felt like their offense just wasn't able to do anything, and then their defense was back on the field, but felt like every 2 minutes. Not giving them excuses, but
yeah, I was going to say I think that's part to do with our defense. Like our defense was just.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I agree. I'm just saying though in general because their offense also looked horrendous outside of obviously our edge rushers and just D line and linebackers just getting to the ball. I was kind of it showed a lot of weaknesses in BYU's game. I mean, this past weekend they beat on TCU, which isn't really anything impressive, but. I think this really exposed them as a team that, like, hey, they can easily beat kind of everybody else. But I think this game set us above everyone, in my opinion, in the Big 12. Like, this kind of, like, cemented us as, like, should be number one. Yeah. I don't know if any of y'all agree with that, but.
I said the same thing, definitely. And I remember when I called you after the game because we were trying to figure out everything afterwards. And I will not forget, both you and me on that call said the exact same thing, and it was our main concern. The offense is really, they're good, but I feel like our defense could compete with any team in the playoff system. I think the offense gives me a couple concerns. The defense gave you 2 turnovers inside the 5s, and we got 3 points out of those. I mean, luckily Stone made his kicks. But
Stone was a dog in this game, I will say.
That was one of the things that made me go, oh, I'm a little concerned. Like, that was my biggest concern out of that game, was the fact that and I don't think BYU's that bad team, so don't, say, oh, they're a bad team. It's just I was actually concerned, okay, can our offense hold up to a Ohio State defense? Can they hold up to Indiana defense, Georgia defense, whoever you have ranked above us right now? Can they hold up to those guys? And I think that was my biggest concern on that night with BYU.
No, that's a valid point. I definitely agree, especially with with the rankings coming out tonight and the likelihood of us getting in the top 5, especially with A&M, their situation, and then Bama losing. Yeah. I mean, that almost eases us into the top 5. So now you kind of have to start asking those questions of, hey, how do we compare to this team? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think, yeah, our defense, absolutely elite. In my opinion, the best defense right now in the country.
Yep.
I mean, I know secondary sometimes can get split open, but outside of that, we've got the best linebacking core in the country by far.
Yeah. We
By
can
far.
have secondary mistakes sometimes because we get pressure so often and so quick. Like David Bailey, I don't think I've seen one play where he hasn't been in the backfield. I'm being serious. I seriously have not seen a play where he's not been like left alone in the backfield with the quarterback after the play.
Yeah. He's cemented himself as pretty much almost a top 10 pick at this point.
I gotta say, Romello Height, man, against BYU played phenomenal. Dropping back.
I think Romello deserves more love. I felt like it's always just David.
Yeah.
But I feel like Romello, in terms of just his size and the way he's able to bend and everything, I see a lot more upside with him. I love David Bailey, and I think he's going to be good. But just something about Romello that just screams off a freak of nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and then I gotta give Banks and Lee Hunter credit too in the middle because they don't get a lot of credit because they're not really getting to the quarterback, but they're stacking the middle to where they can't escape. Like, it's a perfect defensive scheme. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's enough said on the BYU. Let's move into this past week versus UCF. Just utter domination again. 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
I think, as Nick Saban said on game day, you're riding the high into this game, and he wanted to see how do we react to the success, and I think we reacted very well. Reggie Virgil had himself a game.
Best game so far at Tech, easily.
Again, here's Bear Morton not playing a full game, which wasn't needed. He's only played 1 full game this year.
Which I'm so thankful he didn't need to play another half.
Yes.
That West Virginia game is going to be cold, so we're going to need everything we can get. And I checked the forecast. Potential snow, but there's a 40% chance of rain the whole day.
Dog, I'm telling you that game's up there with like K-State in terms of like just being scared because Morgantown, for people that do know ball, that is one place you do not want to go into, especially in type of weather games like this, because they've ruined plenty of team seasons.
This is like I think we still walk out of there with a pretty decent win. I just think we're going to struggle getting momentum pulling up. But versus UCF, I mean, Mitch Griffiths came in and played really well, honestly. He didn't have a touchdown, but he commanded the offense very well, I feel like, even though it was against a UCF team that was already deflated. But Morton's stats, like, only had 1 touchdown, but that's just because, like, we got it done on the ground. Like, we still got it done in the air. Don't get me wrong, like we did. It's just we had all these plays drawn up, and our run game's been really impressive this year. I've been very impressed. We've gone we're not one-dimensional. Like, we can spread it out. We can the ball around. We can sit down. We can run 5 plays in a row and just win in the trenches, get 8, 9 yards, just whenever. I was very impressed against UCF. I know UCF isn't a great team by any means, but I was very impressed. And then my shout-out of the game goes to Bryce Ramirez for that hit and fumble recovery. What an awesome time to do it on senior night after his story and what he's been through. His first career start, the game I was at NC State, his leg snapped in half, had a full recovery, had more issues with fluid and everything, came back, grinded to get here, one of the strongest guys on the team. I think he's only one of 2 to have lifted our 200-pound dumbbell, like curl it or something. Comes back and delivers a huge blow to a receiver on senior night, gets the ball, recovers it kind of towards the end of the game. I mean, you can't make it up. Like, it was just a perfect ending. And big shout out to him for his dedication and hard work, because he would start on a bunch of teams. He would have been a starter here still if he didn't get injured. I believe that. But just honestly, like, very shout out to him. I mean, truly amazing story, and what a way to end it in the Jones.
Sure, for sure. AJ, you got anything you want to say?
Along the lines of the UCF game, definitely was good senior night. You can definitely tell the atmosphere is a little bit different in those games where the fans aren't up at 3 a.m. to hop in the line. I felt like the atmosphere was a lot better for that UCF game. But yeah, and very much enjoyed the fact that like Jacob Rodriguez got himself a rushing touchdown, and it feels like Joey's doing everything he can, not just for the players but also for the fans. Because I think us as fans want to see it just as much as those players want it, and of course Jacob wants it. I mean, the guy's doing Heisman celebrations the past 2 or 3 games, so I mean, it's just good to see Joey just back up one of his players, and especially like a star player in the program. Team looked good. Not worried about any of that. One thing we didn't talk about, thinking about it, the BYU rush to field, or invite to the field, I guess is what we kind of described it more as. What were your guys' thoughts on that invite rush to field?
I mean, once they made the PA announcement, I was kind of like, all right, we're gonna do it. Like, it was announced over the PA system. Like, if we were doing it without a PA announcement, I wasn't gonna do it. But I was holding people back in my section because I knew, like, we did it because of the whole fine incident. Like, we didn't get fined for it because we waited.
Yeah.
So
No.
since the fact that we were invited down, I've seen so many videos on Instagram and TikTok like getting mad at us. I gotta understand, like, everyone's saying act like we've been here before. We really haven't. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. So we just want to have fun, and like, this is the best the program has done in close to 20 years. I mean, would some people have rushed the field? Probably. Would I? No. I mean, it was a 1 number difference in the rankings. We were 13-point favorites too.
Yeah.
Like 10.5. But yeah, it's the same thing.
It's I mean, it's a 2-score margin. Like, I didn't see the need to rush. All my friends wanted to rush, which again, that's fine. Like, I get it, but I wanted to act like we've been there before. Some people didn't. They invited us down. Everyone goes because they get invited down. I mean, who wouldn't? Like,
Yeah.
Clemson does it after every game. I've
Yeah.
experienced that. Like, it's fun.
No.
People on social media just ripping on us like we're college kids. Like, we want to have fun. Like, obviously, we're gonna go down the field and celebrate with our boys. We're gonna go do that. I mean, I got to see Stone after the game, which I don't really see him that much, so
Yeah.
it was good. Like, it worked to my favor. I had a good time.
Let's see.
For sure. I mean, you nailed it on the head. I don't think we really need to say much more about it. I mean, we were favorites. I personally wouldn't have, but at the same time, just looking at future schedules and everything, I think this was probably going to be one of our only chances to rush the field as students. So I say, why not? But also at the same time, it doesn't have that same effect. It's like a catch-22, really. You rush the field, but you don't really. And then also there's the, point spread factor and whatnot. But
We
anyway,
rushed the
that's
field,
it,
but it was
yeah.
just
So there's
it wasn't really like we rushed the field, but it wasn't because we were happy about the win. Like, it wasn't the excitement of the win. Like, oh, you just blew, or you just made the catch on the sideline with Crabtree. It was along the lines of just like we wanted to celebrate. I think more along the line of we just camped out for a full week of this. The football team's kind of giving us the recognition. They're like, here, well, and also it was kind of our clinching of the Big 12. I know.
Yeah,
I know we haven't
I know,
technically
it
clinched even to this point,
it
but with
was.
the 2 points.
we wanted to go celebrate with the team as well
Yeah.
because they've been with us really all week. Like, they've been hanging out with us all week too.
Yeah.
It was just a way to culminate and just a great week, and being down there as a school, not just as a team and a fan base, as a school together that came together for a week of football, a week of just prepping for probably one of the biggest games in school history. And it was just a way to tie up and end like a great week. And that was the main reason. So, Age, I'm glad you brought that up because it wasn't about the win itself. It was about everything that happened before and the win.
Yeah.
It was everything that happened. And that's the reason. And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
All right. Well,
For sure.
I think we've hit everything on the BYU games. Anything else anybody wants to say before we move on to the next part? Like I said, we want to kind of keep it quick. We got a couple of games to talk about.
Yeah. Last day with the UCF game, I know it's probably not major, and Joey's even said it's not major, but one of our lead backs, Jacoby Williams, ended up rolling the same ankle he did in the BYU game this week against UCF. Now, Joey said he would have gone back in the game if it was closer, so I'm glad there's a little bit of precaution there. We finally saw Adam Hill again, a dude that I think we're all pretty high on, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in and looked decent. I mean, he's a young guy that I think eventually over time will get better. Obviously, Jacob Rodriguez, I feel like definitely made his Heisman kind of just his Heisman push, really. I mean, my thing is, and I know, do y'all want to talk about the J-Rod discussion later, or do y'all want to just
We'll talk about it
now?
later. I just want to get on to talk about the weeks real quick before we do.
So you
that.
want to knock it? Oh, okay.
Well, no, I was thinking knock it out later just because talk about the weeks and like some of the big games that definitely affected the seeding.
All right, I was about to say, just because it's tech related, then we'll be done with tech, and then finally can talk about anything other than tech. But if you want to do that, then yeah, we'll move.
I mean, we
on.
can-
I was just going to knock it out so I can get my take in before I leave.
Yeah. Let's just do it now. Let's knock it out now, and then we'll talk
Okay.
about games. And we'll fly through that.
Okay.
All right, JT.
I'll go quick because I really don't have much to say on it. I don't think he's going to win it. Do I want him to win it? Absolutely. Do I think he's the best defensive player in college football? Unbiasedly, yes. If you look at statistics, if you look at Teo's season, like J-Rod, like he has more picks, but just the overall statistics look better at this point in time. I forget the two Ohio State linebackers. They're both elite. Don't get me wrong; they are. Like,
Oh yeah. What
I've
is his name?
seen all these comments like Jacob Rodriguez wouldn't start in the SEC. Jacob Rodriguez wouldn't start on Ohio State with the two best linebackers. But that's not the case. The case is what's happening in reality, and what's happening in reality is he's tearing up offenses like nothing. 3 straight weeks is Big 12 Player of the Week, 4 total this season. I've seen a lot of comments like, "Well, he's in the Big 12." Your reigning Heisman winner was in the Big 12. I just want to point that out.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what
Facts.
conference you're in. You could be in the MAC for all I care. If you're having a season like he is, it doesn't matter what conference. You're a Division I football player. It's the best player in football. It doesn't say it's the best player in this conference. Like, it's the best all-around player. I don't think Jacob's going to win it. Do I want him to? Absolutely. Jeremiah Love deserves it more than these quarterbacks do. Honestly, like Jeremiah Love's a great back. If he wins it, I'm not. I like Ty Simpson over Mendoza, but I still think J-Rod should.
Ooh.
Yes, I do.
Ooh. Yeah, no, I'm just responding. You're good.
No, I know.
You
I
got
like,
Mike.
I, like, I like Simpson. I like Simpson over Mendoza. So I've been a big fan on Simpson the whole year. My boy Haynes King, I don't think he's going to win it, but he deserves to go. I mean, he's carried that up toward the Tech offense. But no, I think it's a great campaign, and I think when we're talking about Heisman stuff and all this, and the whole Travis Hunter situation last year, where the reason he won is because he played both sides of the ball. I mean, look what just happened. I know it was a 1-yard rush, but a lot of these non-ball knowers, he went to Virginia to play quarterback, and then he transferred here, switched to linebacker. He already knows how to play both sides of the ball. It's not like this was a surprise to anybody. Well, it was clearly for the people that don't know anything about him. But the people that actually know football, like, the reason he is so good at linebacker is because he played quarterback. He knows
Yep.
quarterback reads. He knows how to read a field. He knows the progressions. Like, it's stuff like that that people don't really look at. I think he should be in New York. I think he should be a top 3 voter. He'll probably win the fan vote. Either that or that kicker from Hawaii. Because I saw he was like 8th last time I checked for some reason. But I think he should definitely be in the conversation. Do I think he's going to win? No. In a perfect world, he wins because I think he deserves it. But he's not going to win, but he should still be in New York, and he'll probably win the fan vote, I'd guess. It's my take.
For sure. Sam, welcome in, bub.
Sam's in here? Oh, crap.
Welcome
y'all.
back.
Thank y'all.
Oh, give me a
I just wanted to
second.
get that in.
Finance class.
Oh,
Man, I know
finance.
that's
numbers.
tough. I know that's something. Sam, do you want to give your J-Rod take? We're in the middle of his case.
Oh, absolutely. I really agree with everything that JT had said. When I joined in, it's a great story. His walking on as a quarterback at Virginia, and I love that we're pushing the Heisman agenda. There was a point in the game. I'd say about the 2 yard line. It was either in the third or the fourth quarter. I think it was right before one of Virgil's touchdowns, maybe. I think it was a jet sweep, that touchdown. Maybe that one was a longer, but one of them. But yeah, I saw him. He was in the defensive huddle because it was right at the point where the starters were about to be rested. And he ran over coach, seeing if they were going to put him in at the 2 yard line, and they didn't because just scored anyway. But it's a year where this would be his best chance. I just don't see him giving it to a full-time defensive player. If, we saw J-Rod doing if they would have implemented this Wildcat, which it's not even it's just for his Heisman stat padding, because one, your backup quarterback or the ACL on a quarterback run. Jordan Morton's about as, injury prone as it gets when it comes to quarterbacking. And then you're down to just Mitch Griffiths. So you run the Wildcat, and you run some Wildcat concepts with Cameron Dickey, and just haven't really seemed to work well. And the thing is with Jacob Rodriguez, you have the Wildcat aspect of him and Dickey in the backfield, who are two bigger builds. Jacoby isn't the I'm gonna run through your chest kind of guy. I think it adds a dynamic. And I definitely would see something. Derrick Henry did this once for the Titans, where throw him in a Wildcat and then everybody just kind of sends it and then he throws it. So I could, working it right now. If we get to the 1 yard line and they throw J-Rod in there, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a touchdown pass in that West Virginia game.
Yeah.
That'd be sick, bro.
And that's fair. And like JT was talking about, he was a former quarterback, so he could sling it if he needs to. Yeah.
He goes and throws the pregame with the fans.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's got an arm, man.
Yeah.
He's got an arm.
Yeah, he gets that thing all the way up the section. And they also somebody brought up a good point. J-Rod is the best player in the country at the most important stat of the game in football, which is getting a turnover and creating more scores, is the opportunity. So
yeah, he has more turnovers than over 65% of the teams in FBS.
Yeah, it's insane.
He's more than Oregon.
It's difficult to force a fumble, and when you're forcing 7 a season, and the thing is, majority of the non-con games he probably didn't play latter half of the third and into the fourth, and so where these people make the arguments for these quarterbacks, well, they don't play the third and fourth quarters. The exact same could be said about Jacob Rodriguez. In these blowouts, you don't want to injure the defense, so he is the best defender on the number 1 rushing defense in the country. And he is a big part of that. He just seems to be everywhere on the field, and that's something you want out of.
Speaking of that, I saw an argument on Twitter, or X, I guess, where this dude there's some crazy stuff on X.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
I don't know if you saw that dude that had to take. You'd rather have a 3-loss Texas team than a 1-loss Tech team.
Oh, that fat dude, that fat white dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's another take where it says
it's just engagement, mate. That's all it is.
They were just saying Tech would have the same defensive efficiency and the same defensive performance without Jacob Rodriguez, stating that he's not an impact player and that we'd still be the same without him. And that he doesn't impact the team enough to even get considered for Heisman.
I think that's more of that kind of that's a guy that probably has not watched a single Tech game all season and just watches certain highlights. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of times on highlight like ESPN highlights or Fox highlights after the game when they post it on YouTube, it's extremely cut up, right? So you're gonna always see David Bailey, you're always gonna see Romello or Lee. Or how sometimes we'll see John Curry come up there and just absolutely rock a dude, or Cole Wisnowski, a guy that's not getting talked about enough at all at safety. I think that dude's whole account is just strictly engagement bait. It's one of those just to get interactions. I don't think it's anything more than that. That Texas take was horrendous because we saw how bad Texas just got embarrassed by Georgia on the road. So go Dogs first off, but anyway. One thing with J-Rod,
Movie's ticket prices for the playoff game. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah,
it's too bright.
Yeah, you got brightness to that.
Oh, it's gonna be insane. Yeah,
Am I seeing thousands? I see
Yes.
thousands. That's it.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's thousands.
Yeah, $1,800 for the back row.
Chilling.
We're good,
But
man.
now-
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. Hey, we're on that one list, dude.
And
We got
I am
that, what was that
100%
one-
glad
one
I
thing we
chose
got
the
for
George
going to
Strait
the game?
tickets.
But the postseason.
Yes,
What's it
bro.
called?
But,
Sorry, I just-
Hey,
I
Mama
just-
Douglas is coming into town April 26th.
Nah, my last thing with J-Rod, and obviously the comparison is going to be Manti Te'o, right? Because Manti Te'o, he I think finished second that year in Heisman voting behind obviously Johnny Manziel. The biggest difference between Manti Te'o and J-Rod right now, and I'm just looking at pure stats. I liked Manti Te'o as a player outside of the whole catfish thing. I mean, that wasn't really his fault, but it screwed the situation. Anyway, regardless. Just looking at stats, Manti Te'o had 7 picks on the year, but outside of that, he had, let me look. Let's look real quick. He had no forced fumbles, he had no pass deflections, and he had 1.5 sacks. Now, when you look over at J-Rod's stats, right? Now, obviously interceptions. He's got 4 as a linebacker, which is absurd to begin with. And then he's got 7 forced fumbles on the year. Does that include also the ones against ASU that he forced? Does that include that as well?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know they didn't get recovered, so I didn't know if they counted
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And on top of that too, it's pure coverage. He has 6 pass breakups as a linebacker this year. I mean, if you're talking about an all-around linebacker, all-around Mike type of linebacker, this would be a guy that does deserve to be in New York. And just looking at the past, because it seems like we always have to, Manti Te'o was able to go. And, I mean, stat-wise, they're almost identical. I think J-Rod probably finishes with a little bit less total tackles. But outside of that, I mean, he's in my opinion, should be top 5 Heisman voting. But, yeah, I don't think he wins it. I think it's going to be a quarterback that ends up winning it. I think it's really going to be between Fernando. And I've seen a lot of people right now, and this kind of angers me. No offense to you, AJ, but Julian Sayin somehow is currently in conversations. That is the most. I'm sorry. That kid
You're
has done
against
absolute. Dude, if you give me Jeremiah Smith,
Nice Smith. Yeah.
Carnell, you mean Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis. You give me all of these it's going to be first round pick receivers, and then you got literally Bo Jackson in your backfield. I mean, dude, I'm sorry. I, in my opinion, I think Fernando Mendoza, out of anybody, should win it. Just the pure impact he's had on that Indiana team. I think if we're going to just be realistic, Fernando wins it. But, man, J-Rod should definitely be in one of those chairs in New York for sure.
Absolutely.
I think, and
The
that's
Julian Sayin thing isn't wild because he's won it in all my simulations in college football 26. So it's not a wild thing to say,
It's just it pains me because I don't think he's a bad quarterback by any means. There's no shot at him as a player. This is just pure brand bias at this point. Because if this dude was playing at I don't know,
I
let's
mean,
say
the
Illinois
thing is, though,
or anywhere else in the world, he's not even top 5.
I mean, but you also got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He still has got to get
No.
the ball to those guys.
Plays at Ohio State. No.
Dog, you still got to get the ball to those
Plays at
guys.
Ohio State. No. I don't. No.
You still have
Get the ball to
to.
those
I mean, we've
guys.
seen what quarterbacks can do if they don't, even if they have the guys and then they can't do their job. Then
Well,
they're
you
useless.
give me Purdue. You give me Purdue and Wisconsin every week. I mean,
Arch Manning Heisman comeback. If they beat A&M, will he still be in the race?
That's right. Hey, that's not it.
you could
Not crazy,
see it.
man.
Nah.
Same with
it's just, I hate,
Lagley. Same with Lagley.
See,
dude,
on three,
future Texas Tech quarterback, DJ Lagley, Sam.
On three,
Future
you
Tech
have
quarterback.
Diego Pavia at 5. He's done. His Heisman campaign's done.
My campaign is like if Jacob Rodriguez played on one of the big brand teams, they
Oh, he would 100%.
like Notre Dame.
would be-
That's one of the big reasons Manti Te'o was runner up.
Exactly.
what
Saying is
this stuff we
fine,
talked about
not better than
Just go ahead.
Mendoza or Haynes King this year. And I agree. I mean, I don't think it needs to be a Heisman candidate, but I'm just saying we can't talk about the fact that you're out here saying, oh, you don't trust Sayin, and I'm like, well, he's getting the job done, and that's all I asked for out of my quarterback.
He's a great system
Dude,
quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good game manager, but Heisman though, no.
Haynes King
No.
deserves the Heisman more than Julian Sayin.
I agree with
Probably
that.
true.
That's
That's
not even
fair.
a
I
wild
think the
take.
Heisman.
I think
Hey,
Diego
just-
Pavia deserves it over Julian Sayin, in my opinion.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, look, as
No,
much as I
I'm
hate
with
Diego and some of the stuff he says, in terms of his impact for Vanderbilt, he's pretty much their whole team
Yeah.
offensively. I mean, we saw what happened when he gets eliminated. He sold out.
Gunnar Stockton.
He's been sneaky. But it's kind of also the Julian saying thing where it's like system, and I like Gunnar more than Julian. No offense, AJ, but I don't think either of them should be in Heisman talks, though. In my opinion.
Isn't Julian?
No,
Is
obviously.
he a sophomore or is he a freshman?
Redshirt freshman, I think. He's redshirt freshman.
Let's see.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not bad.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. Like I can ask you to keep developing.
So Heisman, they keep that open. They have to vote after like championship game, right? Is it last year of the season?
Yes.
It's after.
The championships. I mean, like the media voters, like in my eyes, it's whoever wins Big Ten championship. Like that's who will get the Heisman.
See, that's why he's losing. He's going to go up against Ohio State secondary, and he's going to get exposed.
It's great. I hope they both throw for 100 yards in that game, and then J-Rod forces 3 turnovers against BYU and Jerry World, and then we'll be talking the different.
Yeah.
Stories.
And this is no shade. This is no shade to anybody. I just think if we go to the sole purpose of what the Heisman Trophy stands for and what it did for decades, J-Rod is literally on paper the exact thing you want for a Heisman winner.
But it's like the
screw
MVP.
Screw anything else.
But right now it's looking like the MVP in NFL.
Jeremiah Love because he doesn't have to play a conference championship game.
Yeah, I like Jeremiah Love. I think he's a dog, but also too, I don't think anybody has stood out enough as much as J-Rod has, right? Because we're gonna look back 3 years later, like 5 years down the road, and go, hey, you remember Jeremiah Love during this one game, or like just a little bit? You're not gonna remember his season, right? We'll remember J-Rod's whole
We also
season.
all knew Jeremiah Love was going to do this preseason.
Well, yeah.
So
I miss the days of having just a clear cut, two guys that were phenomenal.
And the thing is, like, that does help J-Rod's case this season because you look at every quarterback and you compare them to the previous Heisman quarterback winners, and it's like nowhere close. And like, you're starting to see like RG3 is a big J-Rod fan. He's got him. He's won the Heisman. Like that's a guy who has actually won the Heisman.
You have a Baylor grad too,
which means he's going to get a
Baylor
vote too.
grad rooting for a Tech dude to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's all you need to know, right there.
Well, and the thing is, with RG3, he gets a vote too, so he's a guy to listen to.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. I think they need to move the Heisman. I think it needs to be after the season. All the awards need to be after the season.
I think it's right before the national championship. I want to say is when they do it.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
Is it?
It's like what if you go out there? There's 2 top candidates and they have great games in the Heisman, like in the national championship, and one has a bad game. The guy that wins it has a bad game. The guy who came second in a close battle has a better game.
Yeah, but what if you're saying that the guy who had, let's just say, like 70 touchdowns, no interceptions, gets eliminated first round?
I'd still give it to him. I mean, even if
I think it's more of
70 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like they're winning it, guaranteed.
I mean, but you're saying that you would want it to go all the way out to the Natty, and if somebody makes a hell of a run in the Natty,
if the race is as close as this year should be, there should be ways to judge it to where you get the maximum amount of time to view these players and see how consistent they are. Well, I'm glad they do it before the national championship because you get to see playoffs. So you get to see the best of the best.
Hypothetically, what you could do is you vote if, say, it was a year that somebody was absolutely going to win the Heisman. Somebody just give me, like Johnny's year, like was he?
Derrick Henry.
I'll say Lamar's
Derrick
year.
Henry.
Lamar, Derrick. Derrick.
You have a year like that, and you go and you vote whenever they usually vote. Let's say threshold is 70%. If he gets 70% of the first place votes, then you end it. But say it's a year like this where you got 3 guys that are split in the first place votes. Let them push back the voting. Let them play these bowl games and the playoff games that they're in, and then you could kind of judge it from there to add on to the thing. Because I think it's unfair to have such a close race, and then you still have extremely meaningful games to be played where Heisman moments are determined, and then you can reevaluate the voting from there.
that's fair. I mean,
I agree.
only con to that I'm thinking of is just last year's Colorado and Ashton Genty's runs. I think that would be the only con because one guy had playoff ball and the other one was just in a random bowl. So
Yeah,
point-
last
No, he
year
was the
was
San
so
Antonio
close too, where it's like you really need to see all the games for both of them. Which I know, didn't Travis Hunter sit out of the bowl game?
no.
Yeah.
No, I thought all of Colorado played that game because they were
That
trying to
should be
improve a
wrong.
point
I
or
don't
something.
remember.
But you should.
Yeah,
you
because
should
they played
be
BYU
docked
and
on-
not.
You should
Hold
be
on.
docked on that.
Colorado.
I think the biggest thing, the biggest thing with that whole thing with Travis was the fact that he somehow, and I think this got overlooked, he won the Bolenikov. That blew my mind when they announced him winning the Bolenikov, and then he also ended up getting the Heisman. The Heisman, and I hope we all can agree on this. I think Ashton Genie, in terms of what he did for Boise State, seeing how bad they are this year with pretty much the same type of team, in terms of. Because once again, Heisman is about the most valuable player on
That's
in
my
terms of.
argument, too.
Travis Hunter did
Because-
play. He had 4 receptions for 106 yards.
Look at what happened with Jordan Travis with Florida State. They knocked him completely out of the playoffs because he was injured. If you're that important to a team and their success, you should win the Heisman.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think this year is one of those years where, I mean, and I hate saying this, but even because how dominant our defense is, I think we would be okay without J-Rod. But there's just not one clear cut, this guy deserves it completely, like there has been in past years. You know what I mean?
There's multiple guys that if they were to get hurt, like Jordan Travis, their teams would fall apart. When Mendoza got hurt, they would fall apart. Ohio State would be okay without Simeon.
They got 2 5-star backups right now. But yeah.
And
I
true.
think Georgia would fall apart without Gunnar Stockton. I really do.
Yeah. Georgia's a very interesting team this year, dude, because I can't figure them out to save my life. Because their defense is on and off.
The defense would be okay, but it wouldn't be the same. Without Haynes King, Georgia Tech wouldn't have had the success. Again, I know me with Georgia Tech. Getting back to that, my take was terrible. I'm so sorry to all y'all.
Hey, I respect you even coming out and saying anything. Let's give it a run. I respect you for at least confronting it. You know what I mean?
That's my point. There's so many guys this year that's just not clear cut. Where it's all right, if this dude goes out, if Haynes King goes out, their season's done.
Oh, for sure. No, and he's one of those guys that honestly, I would have him higher than, I wouldn't say Fernando, but in terms of guys like Ty Simpson and all of them, I would have him higher than them because it's about who has had the most impact on their team. It's not really necessarily it is partially who's the best player in the country, but also too is how well have you helped benefit your entire team, right? Lamar took a Louisville team outside of having Jair Alexander. He took a Louisville team that was god awful and at least won them. I think it was 9 to 10 games. And after that, before Braum decided to come back to his alma mater, they didn't do anything. So it's really, and I know we probably need to get moving, but I think to sum all this up, and I think we all can agree, J-Rod in terms of what the Heisman stands for should win it. But it's kind of like the NFL MVP. It's a quarterback award. And I think this year it's going to show again that it's exactly that.
Yeah.
AJ, you want to do a little transition?
No, I'm doing. Well, yeah. I thought you were about to ask me. I was like, I'm thinking the exact same thing. But yeah, no, it's fair. I think we get to the point where talking about how the Heisman race is looking. Well, we got a couple more weeks left to ball. I know we had a couple of the past few that we haven't really talked about. I think the only one that even should be referenced, unless I'm wrong, is the Oklahoma-Alabama one. Do we want to move forward or do we want to move backwards on games?
Let's do this past weekend.
Past weekend? All right, hold on. Let me look at BYU
let's
week.
recap.
Let's see. BYU week, was there any big deciders? Any big upsets? Oregon barely beats Iowa. That's fair. I think we're good. I'm drawing a blank.
No, there really wasn't anything.
Yep.
Hey, this week's game was crazy though. Friday night, we had 2 games. We had 2 power games. Minnesota on the road at Oregon. Oregon took care of business. They bounced back after a pretty close game against Iowa, 42-13. The Ducks keep rolling. And then, in my opinion, the game of the night, The Clemson Tigers coming off arguably one of their worst seasons in past history. They go into Louisville against the 20th ranked team in the country. A team that also was coming off an L against Cal the week before that. And Clemson pulled out a stunner. They ended up beating the Cardinals 2019. Y'all's thoughts?
Clemson's had a bunch of unfortunate breaks this year. Ultimately, deep down, like preseason, I thought Clemson was going to have one of the best defenses in the country. I really did. With the talent they have and the guys they brought back and the guys that Dabo produces, Clemson really should have had one of the better defenses in the country this year, especially their front seven were elite. They're elite players. Clemson just had a down year, and I mean, I wasn't really shocked that they beat Louisville. I was more just surprised at how bad Louisville played, but I wasn't surprised that Clemson was able to pull an upset. Just because I know deep down, like Clemson has those guys that can make those plays. It's just they haven't been doing that this year. But yeah, I mean, great win for Clemson, and I think it shows that Dabo still does have it. He just still has to adjust to this new era, which he needs to do fast. But Clemson's not really going to go anywhere, I don't think. I think this is just a bad year. But it really wasn't a surprise to me. I knew Louisville, good squad, just inconsistent with how they play.
Yeah. See, I think big games to really keep an eye on was, of course, the Oklahoma and Alabama one that I keep referencing, where Oklahoma, ranked 13, takes down number 4 Alabama, which that was a huge game for seeding-wise. I mean, I think it's going to keep Alabama in the postseason tonight when that comes out. However, I think it's going to dictate a little bit about where they're going to rank, who's going to get the buys. And then the other game I want to see what you guys thought on is this Texas A&M comeback. I think it was 27, 28 points that they came back from on South Carolina in the second half.
33 at half.
Yeah.
33 at half.
So a 27-point comeback to win the game 31-30. A really, really bad first half. And then, of course, like I just said, A&M came back to win that game 31-30. So your guys' thoughts on that and how you guys want to see what A&M, maybe they drop down in rankings, maybe they stay where they're at, because, I mean, it takes balls to win a game or to come back from 27.
This game really fast. I just want to say I'm really mad that South Carolina didn't win because I'll be in Columbia this weekend, and that would have been awesome if they won. I don't know how A&M won. That's all I'm going to say.
I think biggest thing is Elko, dude. I mean, if this was a Jimbo Fisher-led squad, if this was a Kevin Sumlin-led squad, this team would have probably given up another 30 points, and it would have just been completely over.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, South Carolina, one of the worst teams in the SEC this year. I mean, they started out 11th preseason. I mean, let's not forget, at one point, this team was projected really high. Lenore Sellers in this game did all right. I mean, I think he did have the game-ending pick. But, overall, I think a lot of the blame for South Carolina goes on Beamer, their head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, and he got absolutely fried after the game. Because I remember him going into halftime was trying to hype up, quote unquote, the A&M crowd and was doing all this. And then, post-game interview, he goes, we weren't celebrating at half. We weren't doing all of this and that. And it's just like, man, it kills because A&M came out hot in the second half. I forgot what it was. They scored, I want to say 14 or 21, like pretty quick. And then you could just tell the momentum switched. Marcel Reed, despite having a horrendous first half, dude came out and balled in the second, put up like 300-something passing yards in the second half, had 2 passing touchdowns, didn't throw another pick. And, A&M, despite a lot of their backs still being injured, I mean, they, with no run game, were able to kind of be in this. Now, it helps having guys like Casey Concepcion, NC State legend, Ashton Bethel-Roman, he's really emerged this year for A&M. Obviously, with Micah leaving in the offseason, opened that up for him. But overall, there's not a lot to say really in this game. I think A&M definitely this game. I mean, if they had lost this game, they would have been out of the top 10. But them coming back in the fashion they did and the way their defense finally locked in the second half, I think they definitely dropped to maybe like 4. I don't see them dropping farther than that, probably, just knowing how like the bias stuff works. To be honest, I'd say 4 or 5 is likely where they end up. But I mean, it was a game of all time. I'll say that it was a game of all time. Sam.
Yeah, I was watching the game, sitting in the stadium, and the big moment in the game for me is at the 7:18 mark. South Carolina is up 30-10, 7:18 left to go in the third quarter. They're at the A&M 30. It's 4th and 1. They call a timeout. In my mind, you kick a field goal. If it's only a 47-yarder. This is the SEC. Legit kickers. You go up 23. So that's. I know JT's got things with the kickers, but he makes this field goal. You either go up 23, which is almost in your mind 4 scores, because you got to get 3 touchdowns and you got to get 2 2-point conversions, and there's no room for failure. If you miss, you can't make it up by getting 2 more. So there's a huge difference in my eyes going up 23 than staying at 20, and you go for it. Felt like A&M was already kind of getting that momentum. You kind of negate that momentum by going for it. You had just gotten very lucky with getting a 14-yard Sellers scramble to get the first down, and then your offense was not clicking in that second half. And any time you could get points at Kyle Field, like, to take the 3 points, or at least try to get those 3 points. And I think that's what ultimately led to their demise in that game. And A&M was lucky. And I'm going to disagree with you, Mason. I think A&M stays at 3. It's hard to dock a team.
I can see it happening. I wasn't trying to. Yeah.
No, I know. I just think that they're the undefeated in the SEC, and the committee's gonna be like, that's still, any game in the SEC is gonna be a tough one, especially next year when they play Samford. It's gonna be a real tough
Mighty
game.
Bulldogs, man. The Mighty Bulldogs.
Right. So
I do want to shout out A&M's fans. None of them left at halftime.
Yes.
That's real passion, and that's the last thing to say. I'm gonna head out.
All right, JT, see you, dog. Happy to have you back, man.
Sir, they're strong, boys.
See you,
Yeah,
JT.
absolutely. No, but Sam, I agree with your point. I was just thinking in terms of like if there was a scenario where A&M does drop, I don't think it's that much.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that far. Yeah, I agree.
But I agree with you though. I think they probably do stay at 3 just because the bias that comes with being in a conference like the SEC. I think Ohio State definitely. Oh, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, overall, A&M, they crazy comeback. AJ, do you have anything you wanna say about this game?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody else on this. I gave them a little more leeway. I know how much everybody else kind of hated on them. If you come back 27 points, no matter who you're playing, what it is, you come back 27 points at half, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Like, that's an impressive move. I'm not gonna drop you down in the committee too much for being down in that slot. It's the fact that you rebounded, you came out, you realized, oh crap, we are screwing up, and yet you made the most out of the chances you were given. And so I'm not gonna hate on them for completely. I mean, it's bad that you were in that position in the first place, but the fact that you fixed it, I'm not gonna blame you.
I agree. So
Yeah.
I just want to say one last thing with this. The thing with A&M this year, and I know like I just said, like when I first started my thing talking about like the former coaches, they are so well coached now that when they finally are in these situations, they don't just can't say that, but they kind of just give the game up,
Yeah.
And like AJ, you mentioned, like I think a lot of credit should be given to Elko and the coaching staff and the way that they handled, going into half, being down 27 at home to a team that was 0-6 in the SEC, conference play wise. So, I mean, yeah, I think A&M is definitely a team that a lot of people should be scared of. Now, the real determinant, and I think in all this, will be next weekend when they go down to Austin and play UT. That I think will be really their first big test of the year.
Yeah.
Outside of obviously beating Notre Dame early on in the season in South Bend, but yeah, no, for sure, it was a huge win for A&M to come back.
Yeah, and I also just thought about it. I mean, something you want to give them a little bit more leeway too is they just proved that they can work under adversity. How many other teams this season can you say they've been under adversity? However to say the word.
Adversity?
Yeah, adversity this whole season.
You got it.
I mean, Tech, the only time we've been down in a game was Arizona State. We didn't crawl out of that one. I don't think the Buckeyes haven't even given up a first half touchdown other than the Penn State. So are they capable? Is Julian Sayin able to switch it on and then on a 2-minute drill to win the game? How many teams can you say are able to do that? And I think the 27-point comeback proves that Texas A&M is ready. If they're down 10-17 in a playoff game, don't count them out because they just proved that they're willing under adversity.
And that Notre Dame game too, where they drove down the field and got I think it was 4th and goal, the touchdown to put them up.
Yeah.
Or it was something. Yeah, I think it was 4th and goal because I remember they kept on talking about the Notre Dame holder had a horrible hold for the kick, and then they missed the extra point, so that's why A&M was able to go up 1 after the touchdown. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what happens with Notre Dame.
Let's see. Last thing on that game, was this the game or the Waterloo incident that gets Shane Beamer fired?
Dude, you've got to. I mean, it started, the Beamer era in South Carolina started pretty decent, man. There was hope. There was a lot of hope. I just think after this year and the way last year ended, but also, and then there's the thing of, who out there is going to be better. I like Shane Beamer in terms of the way he recruits. I think he's a really good players coach. He's kind of like a Joey in that aspect. And then also, too, his father being one of the greatest college football coaches, of all time, definitely helps him a little bit. But I think they give him a little bit of leeway just because of how bad the season's gone and some of the injuries and everything like that. But I definitely think going into next year, for sure, he'll be on a very short leash.
I mean, but at the same time, can't you say the reason, well, not the reason they're having a bad season is on him, but the fact that he has already had a bad enough season and then blowing a 27-point lead, could that be the nail in the coffin, the Waterloo incident that sends him gone?
Oh, I agree. I think it goes either way. I think he ends up getting fired. Now, who do they play? South Carolina play this upcoming week. Oh, they got Coastal, and then they've got Clemson. I think if they drop to Coastal, I for sure see him gone. The Clemson game, I don't think they would fire him off of losing that. Now, it is at home, so there is a chance they could. But it's right now in the state of college football, we just saw James Franklin go to Virginia Tech. So now it kind of leaves the door for, who out there are you going to replace him with, right? Because you could have the same type of dude come in, but there's all this hype and there's all this, hoorah and whatnot. But I was going to change the program like there was with Beamer when he came to South Carolina. And you get the same end result. And 2, I don't know his buyout and the money situation. So that's another factor you got to remember too, because you got to get rid of him and his entire staff. Yeah. I think that's one reason Florida State hasn't moved on from Mike Norvell yet. Likely is because it's $100 million to get him and his staff out of Tallahassee. So we'll wait and see. But I do think he is very much on the break-in part of getting fired for sure.
That's fair. Sam, any thoughts on Beamer, or are you good?
No, that was good.
Okay. I mean, and something else, I'm looking at their schedule right now. Everybody they lost to in the SEC is ranked: Mizzou, Oklahoma, Bama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I mean, they've had a damn hard schedule over there, so in South Carolina. So I mean, it's fair to not fully fire him after that. I can see a team after the season they've had and then being up by 27, the fans calling for your job right there and saying, all right, that's the last I want to see of you this year. But
for sure.
Let's see what else. I don't know if we'll do a preview, but I'm pretty sure we'll get on that later, so I won't touch up on trying to get anything for this season.
No.
I think we talked pretty good about last week. Basketball got started for Tech. Had that really bad loss not bad loss to Illinois, but it just kind of sucked the fact that they had 20 more free throws than us. Do we want to talk a little bit, or are you guys having to head out about college basketball and how Tech basketball looks?
We can talk a little if y'all want.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I'm just looking. Is there anything else really big games last week that I missed? here.
I mean, I would say if
Georgia Tech barely beats Boston College. Top 5 team right there.
Yeah. A coach that I think is about to soon get, pretty much sent to the gulag. I think Dave Aranda at Baylor. I think that era is about to end. Utah went down to Waco this weekend. And, as much talk as BYU gets about being kind of that second team in the Big 12, I'm more scared to play Utah. I am 100% more scared to play Utah. I mean, ever since that game against us, I'm just going to look at the conference real quick. They have not put up less than 24 points in a game. And outside of their loss to BYU, in which they put up 21.
21.
But outside of that BYU game, the least amount of points they've put up since they played us is 42 points in a 42-10 win against Arizona State. And we just saw Jeff Sims. Absolutely, these past 2 weeks has looked pretty decent. So this Big 12 race, man, I think that's another thing that we'll probably talk about later on this week. It's insane for that second spot. I think Tech's got the first, but man, it's going to come down to literally this last week of games to see who ends up going to Arlington to play us. That's if we beat West Virginia. That is if we beat West Virginia.
I think there's a world where we can clinch, though. I think we kind of just need an Arizona State loss. I'm not really sure, but that's
I haven't looked at the scenarios yet.
Yeah.
But us having a tiebreaker over Utah and BYU is huge. That is
because if Arizona State picks up and Houston, we've
great too.
World
great.
Also,
I don't know, they're ranked again.
Now that we're talking about conference standings,
only undefeated Big 12 road team.
Willie Fritz doesn't get enough credit, man. I loved what he did at Tulane. I mean,
the thing is, they haven't played Utah, BYU, or Cincinnati. I believe they played us, and that's it.
Who's they played? They've played. I think did they beat Arizona? Or did Arizona beat them?
I don't know who's their other loss. I know West Virginia's one of their losses.
Oh yeah, they got curb stomped by West Virginia.
That's at home. That was a bad. They beat Oklahoma State. They've beat all the. I don't think they played Arizona State either. So they literally five. They've played one of the top 5 Big 12 teams, and they played the bottom. Colorado. They beat Colorado. Congratulations. You beat Oklahoma State, who is going to win one game this year. I think they played K-State maybe. They probably played.
I was about to say, I hope none of y'all watched that K-State Oklahoma State game.
Oh my gosh, dude. I just saw that game on the ticker, and it was
14-7 final, dude.
Yeah,
14-7 final.
Wow.
I turned it on as a joke.
Bad.
I wasn't paying attention. No, but you guys are talking about conference standings, and that is perfect to what I was just thinking about. Who in the world is going to get this group of 5, whether it be an American or JMU? But who's going to be this group of 5 to sneak into the playoffs? Navy had the win, or North Texas beat Navy.
Texas.
Tulane beats. Yeah.
Go Mean Green, baby. Go Mean Green.
The reason they put the group of 5 was because there's always been just a team that goes undefeated in the group of 5.
It's weird. This year there's not.
It's just weird. And now it looks like it's kind of dumb because it's your second year of doing this. Last year you had undefeated Boise State. This year you have 1-loss teams in the American, a 1-loss JMU team, and
the team they currently have ranked has 2 losses.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're Tech, you kind of want the 5 seed. You want to play a game in Lubbock. You want to play the group of 5 team. And then there's a world where I think A&M, if they lose in the SEC, they say they beat Texas, they lose in the SEC championship to Georgia. Georgia jumps to 3 or higher. A&M's 4. You go and play A&M the Cotton Bowl 4-5. Could you imagine Texas Tech A&M Cotton Bowl in Jerry World?
That place may erupt.
There's a legit chance that Tech, for the playoff, they play a conference championship in Texas, they play a home game in Texas, and then they play their first bowl game in Texas.
Yeah. This playoff scenario this year is probably one of the most bizarre we've had in a while. Because last year, obviously, group of 5 spot was Boise State. That was secured
Yeah.
like long before. But I mean, right now, shout out to JT for his take. I kind of doubted it, but with JMU, they've like sneakily have gotten into this. Now, do I think they're a better team than like North Texas or Tulane? Absolutely not. The Sun Belt normally has been a joke of a conference. No hate to JMU, but it's not up there with like in terms of how the American has been this year.
Keep in mind, JMU hasn't been there
The
this whole time.
Americans, there's
Yeah.
a case to be said that the American is better than the ACC from a top.
Right now, yes.
Teams.
Yeah.
Like
You
I
know,
understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that
USF
scenario where
lost to
Duke ends
Miami.
up with the slot, or Duke would have won the ACC, and they wouldn't even have nobody in the ACC
Yeah, I
would have had
know.
the slot.
That's what the ACC. I hope SMU somehow gets in.
Yeah,
In North Texas, could you imagine like five Texas teams in the CFP? Like
Make
if
my
you
heart happy, man. Make my
Yeah.
heart
I know.
happy.
I'd love to play North Texas here.
Especially, their head
Even
coach being a
SMU.
Tech alum, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty fun.
I don't know, but
Um,
I mean, you look at how the Americans worked out right now. You've got North Texas beats Navy, who's currently in front. However, North Texas lost to South Florida, who South Florida's ranked, but
South
they've
Florida
got
lost
2
to
losses
Miami.
on the season. So
It's-
like, they've lost to Miami,
chaos.
they lost to Memphis, they lost to Navy, so they have 3, but 2 in conference. I mean, Memphis had a golden opportunity after the USF win, and they've fallen. Hold on, my thing's slowing. Memphis has fallen to
No,
4-3.
they have.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Memphis. I mean, they have 2 losses, right? They lost to Navy.
They lost. Did they lose this week? Yeah, they lost to East Carolina on the road. That pretty much eliminated them.
Yep.
So now they're 4-3
Do they-
in conference.
And then
They still
Tulane has a
play
loss
Navy,
to
right? Or do-
UTSA.
'cause I know
Yes.
Navy's got a tough.
Last
and
game of
Navy's-
the
Navy's still got to play Army. So
Yeah, they still got to play Army.
yeah.
Which that game will
I
always
think
be a
the most
50-50.
safe bet in terms of the team that comes out of the American is probably North Texas, because North Texas' last 2 games, if I'm looking correctly, is at Rice this week, and then next weekend they play Temple at home. So
yeah, they should win out, and I think that they have the best like resume when it comes to that. Like they beat a USF team that was, beat Florida and played a competitive game against the Miami.
But like I said, they've currently got USF ranked, so it's like, I don't know.
yeah,
It's very weird because didn't USF just lose? So they'll drop.
the Navy. Yeah,
They
Weren't
USF lost.
they weren't even
to-
ranked going into this week.
It's showing 24
so
right
JMU,
now.
I think
Yeah, they lost to
North
Navy.
Texas
They
has
lost
to win the
and they lost to
American.
Memphis.
they have to win that
Yeah.
championship game. If because right now it's JMU. JMU just has to win out, and I think they're in.
Yeah.
Even though I
I don't know.
think
See,
North
that's
Texas
the
is
thing
a
that.
good team.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. I think in terms of just talent, I mean, the running back that North Texas has in Caleb Hawkins, he's going to end up being an SEC back next year. Their quarterback likely is going to end up being in a power conference next year. I mean, their whole team. I mean, Eric Morris should not be at North Texas next year by any means. One thing, and I think this is kind of one of the biggest comparisons to kind of justify North Texas being a playoff team. At home in week 3, they played Washington State, and they beat them 59-10. Now, I don't know if anybody knows a team in the SEC by any chance that may have played Wazoo at home a few weeks ago and won by like 3, who's currently a top 10 team. I know circumstances can be different, but if we're going to justify North Texas having a real shot in this, I mean, man, that win right there alone. But if you look at their point differentials in pretty much every game they've played, I mean, it is insane. Outside of a really close game on the road at Western Michigan, and Army.
Wait, Mason,
These past 4 games, they've beat UTSA 55-17, Charlotte 54-20, Navy 31-17, and then UAB 53-24. Now, obviously, a couple of those teams aren't really worth anything, but this is Group of 5, and I think in terms of as a whole team overall, because their defense has not been necessarily the greatest, but they've improved compared to years past. So I would give North Texas my bid. I don't know how y'all would
Mason, just work
probably
with
do
me
it.
here. Let's go one. We'll go 1 for 1. I currently have JMU up since we were talking about them. All right,
Okay, yeah.
JMU. I would say their best loss, not best loss, but their probably best scenario for them is going to be this loss versus Louisville, 28-14. That's because the committee did say they are counting good losses, and that might be
Isn't that
JMU's
their only
best
loss?
option. That's their only loss,
Yeah.
and
Okay, so it's also
they,
the worst loss.
for the most part, are winning every game
yeah.
20, 30 points plus in the Sun Belt, other than Louisiana and Georgia State. So
Yeah.
this is what I want to see. What is the point differential for North Texas? Let's see.
Let's go to stats.
Really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Group of 5 team they put in because
they're gonna be out probably first round. I need to see.
The 5 is.
I just need to see UNT finally doing something. I mean, they gave us Grant McCaslin. You know, I mean, we've got to show some love. Exactly, man. So I think honestly, if JMU does win out and they win the Sun Belt, they will likely get it. I don't believe they're a better team than North Texas, because if you look at the Sun Belt and all the teams currently in the Sun Belt outside of JMU, I mean, Texas State was supposed to be okay this year, and I think they're bottom half of the Sun Belt this year.
JMU has a 209 point differential.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, that stat alone is, I mean, they're always a sneaky good team, but I don't know how they, it's that part that sucks because it's two different conferences, and I wish JMU was in the American, so this would be a lot easier discussion.
Yeah.
Because how do you accurately judge Sun Belt competition to American competition? Because, I mean, if you look at JMU, who they've played Weber State, obviously Louisville, their one loss, but then they played Liberty, who's been awful, Georgia Southern, who's been awful, Georgia State, who's been awful, Louisiana, who hasn't done anything. Old Dominion, surprisingly, what's their record? They're 4-3.
4-3.
Not horrendous.
Or they're 4-2.
And then Texas, 4-2.
Yep. They're 4-2, 7-3 on the season.
Gotcha. I mean, and Texas State, that was a pretty good win for them. But then Marshall and then App State this past weekend, and then they finish out Washington State and Coastal. I think the Washington State game, because then there'll be a common opponent between the two teams. I think that'll finally determine really who's, who, because Washington State is kind of, I mean, they kind of stayed the same all season. So, but yeah, Group of 5 spot is going to be pretty much last weekend, and then obviously Conference Championship weekend will really tell.
Yeah. It's gonna come down to this last week in college football for basically every single conference team. You might have some, like, I think Big 12, we figured out one of them, but we have no idea who's going to be that second slot, and it's going to come down to some scenarios. You got the SEC that's always trying to figure it out because they're always killing each other. But they're going to be on a fancy bye this week, so won't really get to see any action that's going to determine anything other than, like, Vanderbilt and Kentucky are the only, like, SEC competition this week. And then, of course, some of the other ones. I mean, the American has just been killing each other. We've been joking around and asking who's going to win the Group of 5. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely. Oh, and whoever's going to win the Atlantic, anybody want to have the ACC. Yeah, options up on the board. Anybody
I think
want
everybody's pretty much trying to boycott that conference at this point, man.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like it's just, oh no, you can have it. No, you can have it. No, I promise you got it.
It's literally this whole season. It's been like, all right, this team's gonna win it.
Yeah.
Oh, they just lost. All right, this team's now gonna win it. Okay, there goes Miami. All right, there goes Florida State. There goes it's like Georgia Tech's gonna win it. Loses to North Carolina. Okay, or North Carolina State. Well, never mind. I don't know who's gonna win it.
Yeah. Outside of games, and I know we probably need to wrap up here soon anyway, because we've been on here for probably like almost close to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But there was some stuff that's been emerging the past day or two with the whole Lane Kiffin fiasco down there in the South with the head coach and stuff. His family, I don't think it's really rumored anymore. They've flown to both Gainesville and Baton Rouge to quote unquote tour the cities. Now, this could be nothing. This could be a lot. Kind of wanted to get y'all's takes on this because Lane Kiffin, big social media guy, was posting a lot of quotes today talking about how change is a good thing and all this. And I'm like, dude, at this point, just say you're leaving. Like, I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous. But I wanted to ask y'all, see what y'all's opinions were on the whole Lane Kiffin potentially to LSU or Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would leave to go to Florida. I could only see him going to LSU. I really think it's a great maneuver, and I think it's kind of what Kenny Dillingham's doing. It's a great way to leverage more NIL money. Hey, if you really want me to stay, like, give me, like, we got to keep pumping in these recruits. And his family really, I think, likes it there. It's just, I think it's more of a leverage piece, and he's the ultimate troll. Like, he's just gonna, anything he reads, he'll just highlight it and post it on Twitter, and he'll just see what people say. Like, it's just, I really don't think you need to read into it that much. Like, I think it's gonna be funny. Like, end of the day, they still, like, Ole Miss has a chance to do something in the CFP. I think he's really just focused on that, but he's probably the biggest troll coach in college football.
Like, yeah, you either love him or you just absolutely despise him. Like, I think that's something I noticed from, like, media. Yeah, it's
like same with like Kenny Dillingham. Like he went on like a rant about like local businesses. Like, if you're not trying to support, like, I think if Arizona State, like, because it's going to be hard for him to leave because he went to Arizona State. I do think if they don't do anything NIL wise, like, he's going to the next SEC opening.
Well, and all that stuff with Sam Levitt came out today. Now, obviously, apparently it wasn't officially confirmed yet, but it's, according to that thing his friends sent, it pretty much sounds like he's debating it right now. Of course, Sam Levitt apparently today came out by Pete Nakos that and this is one thing I hate with the NIL era, is that apparently currently him and his team of whoever, agents or whatnot, are trying to shop him around right now in the college football landscape. They're trying to figure out, what market wants him the most.
That is
thoughts with like that too as well. I guess I could ask y'all because, like, NFL, obviously it's professional, it's a business, it makes sense. But once again, when do you cross the line of amateur and then professional? Because I feel like at this point now, these players should be considered employees. Like, it's, this isn't collegiate really anymore. This is straight up, hey kid, you want 500 bands, come here and play. You ain't got to worry about the school aspect. That'll be taken care of.
It's minor league football.
Yeah.
It is literally minor league football. It's minor league football. It's literally, it's MLB. They've got the AAA affiliations. They've got the AA's. This is the exact thing it is. It is the semi-pro. Just let's get film out there so that way we can make it to the pros, because there's no more college football.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Sam, I wanted to kind of go back to your point with the Levitt thing and like the Dillingham thing, because I feel like the whole Levitt shopping around and all of this, because I think Levitt and Dillingham are pretty close for the most part, because when Levitt left Michigan State, wasn't really highly recruited by anybody. I mean, there's a reason he went to ASU besides the Snow Bunnies and everything. But, I mean, obviously he's white. Sorry, I mean, just the women in general. But it's one of those things where, is this something that's kind of giving a hint to potentially us seeing Dillingham take an SEC gig, take a Florida gig? I mean, because I think LSU, they're gonna go after Lane. I think that makes the most logical sense. And then Florida's kind of left now where it's like, well, Franklin's already gone to Virginia Tech. Kiffin potentially to LSU.
Still think,
I mean, I don't think he should leave Ole Miss, because if he wants to manage whatever reputation he has after the whole him leaving Tennessee for USC thing, I think he should stay at Ole Miss. But also, too, if they're offering you like $18 million a year and you're getting all these Lincoln Riley perks, like, I mean, you've got to. It'd be hard to say no, because that's generational wealth, and that's stuff that's going to set your family up long term. I don't know what y'all's opinions, about that.
I mean, money's always going to talk, no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, no matter how loyal you are.
I think Dillingham, like, you really think, like, they're not having the greatest year. They lost to Mississippi State early in the season. They have a shot to play in the Big 12 championship with 2 weeks left. And that's a bad year. Like, I give big props to Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. Tech's only loss.
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal coach, man.
He's perfect for the NIL, like, getting the most out of the guys that come in with the thing, and like that's the big day and age, like the motivating, like Dan Lanning at Oregon, like Joey, like. Like getting people to buy in. Like, you can be this great talent, but if you're not bought in, like, I think that is what Texas Tech has done great this year. You bring in all these, like, guys that were the best defensive player on their team last year, and you get them to understand Like, hey, you're this is more than just you. David Bailey, Romello Height, like getting in all these, like Lee Hunter. You bring in these guys and to put them into the system. Like, this is one of the reasons Coach McGuire, was one of the best coaches currently in college football and the NIL era, because it's a constantly like, he probably hasn't even known these guys for more than a year.
Yeah,
he's known these guys for 9 months,
probably 6 months. Yes, by 6 to 9 months at most.
Like, getting these people like in the door, like the bigger purpose. It's something that you didn't need 5 years ago when you were recruiting these guys for 2 years. Like, these people, recruiting classes. You got to know the people you're going to be playing with 2 years in the future. Like, now, you don't even know who you're going to play with the spring ball. Like, you're bringing guys in. It's completely different. And like those people that can really, they play the video, and I want to run through a brick wall for Joey. Like,
I agree. No, I agree.
It's how it is, and that's how, and because that's how you had to do it in high school. You didn't know how things were going to work out, and he's gotten these players to buy in, and that's one of the things I was really surprised to see, was that because 4 or 5 weeks ago there was a case to be made that David Bailey could be in the conversation for Heisman, and I was really surprised to see that Texas Tech, football really like leaned into like Jacob Rodriguez. Like, you had two dudes that 1A and 1B, the nation leader in sacks. And I think that really resonates to the team aspect of it, that, if that's me, like I want to win the Heisman, but I think David Bailey is probably, he's not set on, individual goals. He wants to go win a national championship because he's going to be a day one pick. So
for sure.
And I think and that was exactly what I said earlier when we were first talking. I don't know if you were in here yet, but it was one of my favorite things to see was Joey McGuire going and really advocating for Jacob Rodriguez this season, and advocating that this is his guy. We want him to win the Heisman. Like I said, I don't know if Sam, if you were in here yet when I had mentioned that, but I
don't think I was.
Yeah, you reinforced the exact same thing that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's
recapping the game.
We could have thought if Barron would have stayed healthy, and we could be talking about Barron being a Heisman candidate. Like, you want someone from your team to represent. I think Jacob Rodriguez is the best.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an amazing dude off the field as much as he is on. I think that's the one thing that like people hated last year with Travis, especially. So like the extracurricular stuff that came with it. And I mean, I think with David Bailey's case, unfortunately, that did end with the post-game stuff. But anyway, I agree with both y'all. I think Joey, this dates back to Baylor. I mean, people forget he was coaching on that staff that won the Sugar Bowl against, who did they beat in the Sugar Bowl? Was it Georgia? They beat Ole Miss. They beat Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl in 2020. And then, when he got hired in 2021 to come to Tech, he started out on Baylor's staff, and they won the Big 12 championship that year. And since then, what has Dave Aranda done at Baylor with his staffs? I mean, it kind of shows you the impact that having a dude who may not be necessarily the greatest football IQ guy, but he understands what it takes to run a very functional team. And he brings in the guys that can do the X's and O's and the P's and Q's, and then they let him do what he does great. That's a guy from Texas that just understands business, and he knows, like, you want guys to mesh well. You want guys to be able to perform and run. He does as much for these kids as much as they do for him, right? Yeah. I mean, he's going out of his way. I think a great, it's not even just Joey. You look at James Blanchard, on Saturday with Dante Balfour, during senior day and whatnot. Dante was by himself, and, you had your GM, mind you, a guy who has no type of association with, like, game day stuff, right? Like, outside of, picking players and everything like that. So the culture that Tech has built is phenomenal. It's something that A&M never took advantage of when they spent their $22 million in 2022. I think people forget about that when they had that stupidly good recruiting class where they got like 7 5-stars and nothing came of that. I think Tech is doing it right. They're jumping on the curb before everybody starts doing this. And I mean, I think, and what really scares me is I hate how much people are wanting Joey now. Now, obviously, we have billionaires that aren't going to let that happen. So, but it's one of those things where it's so good to know that we finally have a coach that can get us to this point, right? that he understands his role as a head coach rather than trying to be like a Billy Napier where you want to control offensive play calling or you want to control defensive play calling. Like, let your two best coordinators do their thing, and then you reap the rewards of just simply putting it all together like a puzzle. So,
No, I mean,
yeah, shout out to Joey.
Makes sense,
Absolutely
and I think-
amazing dude, by the way.
I mean, and it helps out with the whole rest of the team, like talking about how everybody goes together. I mean, you got a fan base, a very loyal fan base that was ready to camp out. On top of that, you guys made it better? I mean, when we were outside your facility, you were going to see us either way, but you guys came out,
They came out and interacted.
with us. You showed
Like, they didn't have
you
to
showed
do it.
us the hard work that you guys are putting all the hard work on the field. All we did was just sit outside in the tents, but we were living out in the cold. Like it was 40 degrees out in the middle of those nights, and then your body temperature regularly goes down. So seeing the players interact the way that they did with those guys at the tent for Raiderville really showed how much both the fan base and the team meant to Lubbock. Joey just, I cannot forget that the whole Pat McAfee interview he had. I mean, he won me. Like I was recruited at that point. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
Joey, you got me coming ready for the team.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Pat McAfee was like, you're my favorite head coach now. Like, just hearing the way you're talking about you and the players and this scenery in Lubbock. And that's a guy who's from Indiana who has no correlation to Lubbock. This was his first experience, and it seems like everybody loved it. Kirk Herbstreit loved it. Everybody from the game day cast for the next 2 or 3 days were talking about how much they love Lubbock and the atmosphere here. And I think, right behind that, you've got the team. And if the team's playing well and the coaching staff and all of that's going to do well, it's one hell of an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think Tech has the two best combination of football and basketball coaches
Yeah.
in today's day and age.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that they both complement each other so well, and
Yeah.
they get the most out of their players, and they're able to construct such a well team with what they have. So.
I mean, during the stadium, they had Grant come out and tell us, "Hey, we don't want you
Yeah.
guys to say anything about any jokes about Mormons or anything like that. Like, just be nice, keep it about us." And I mean, it means something that even your fans will listen to your basketball coach at a football stadium
yeah,
because
that's
Tech right now is in a really good slot. Every team right now we've got is ranked. We're phenomenal. I mean, I got to talk to Tyler Cook for an assignment, the strength and conditioning coach for softball. I had an assignment. I needed to talk to a strength and conditioning coach, because that's what I wanted to do. I was on the phone with him for 15, 20 minutes. He was willing. I walked past one of the softball girls. I said, "Hey, can I interview your coach?" He said, "Can you?" She said, "Perfect. Let me text him." He gave me 15 minutes. He said, "Can you do it in 15 minutes?" Like on the spot. So I ran to my apartment so I could get everything I could to get it done. And I was on the phone with him for 15, 20 minutes, and I just wanted to listen to the story that he had and doing exactly the exact same thing that I want to do. And he gave me some really good motivation. I've got the card right here, some of the key points he talked about and stuff he said to look at, and what certifications I need. He was willing to help me out. And again, this was on the spot. He said, "Can you do it in 15 minutes?" And I said, "Sure." And I ran to my apartment so I could get in the interview. So everybody in all of our sports right now, I feel like, is an incredible coaching staff. I mean, we've got Joey McGuire for football. We've got Grant McCaslam. Glasnow is playing incredible. Tom Stone. Everybody's got their teams rolling right now. And I think it says something about the whole Lubbock atmosphere when everybody is doing as well as they are. I mean, Tom Stone's got soccer playing in the playoffs right now.
Man, you gotta give love to Kitley though, dude. He's made our track. I feel like our track and field program.
I don't follow
is
track.
probably our most
That's my comment.
consistent program we've had.
Yeah.
In terms of winning Big 12 championships, winning national championships, I mean, I think that was one of the sports that truly helped kick off stuff. I mean, I know we got that TikTok dude now. Forgot what his name was, but
I don't
you know,
follow
like,
track, and that's the only reason I didn't know who we had.
oh,
I hadn't
no.
followed
But
it.
but I agree though. Like as a whole, right now, we've probably got the best athletic department in the country,
Yeah.
and a lot of that. And I think also higher ups deserve a little bit of credit for this too. Kirby Hokut's done a really damn good job in terms of getting guys to come here, and also too, I don't think people remember how big of a gamble it was for us to take on Joey. Joey had outside of being an assistant at Baylor, had no other collegiate experience, had never been a head coach at any level outside of high school at Cedar Hill. And they took him to take a Power 5 gig at a school like Tech, in a conference with UT at the time, OU, OSU, TCU, with the next season we'll go to the Natty. Like, yeah. I mean, and also too, and another shout out to, our higher ups at Tech, considering readjusting the final schedule for the Big 12 championship game. That's huge. I think that's another thing that's kind of getting overlooked too.
Yeah.
But just to quit all of our rambling, I think overall Tech is in a really good spot, and Joey's absolutely the fit we needed to help this program.
Yeah. I think that's I think that's fair. Sam, Mason, y'all want any final comments? Get this before we air off.
Just glad to be back, man. Glad to be back talking ball with y'all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, sorry we've been off. I know we've had a lot of stuff to do. Last week I had anatomy. That's why I couldn't get it, and I'm the one with the OBS and all that. So, yeah. We'll hopefully get back to you Friday. We'll see what's happening during Thanksgiving break. We'll talk about it off air.
For sure.
Thanksgiving break, Christmas break. Hopefully we'll all still get to talk and all that. Basketball's getting started up. I think they're in the Bahamas this week.
Wake Forest on Thursday.
Women's basketball hasn't lost a game yet, so.
And we don't have a Pop Isaac, so we should be good. Sorry. Anyway, my bad. Sorry. All right.
But yeah, no. Overall, great seeing all y'all again. Getting to talk to everybody. Well, let's get off the air before Mason says anything about Pop Isaac he doesn't want to say.
No.
No.
No disrespect. I'm just saying.
Whatever. All right.
Anyway.
I hope everybody has a good one. Sam, Mason, appreciate y'all joining me. JT, he's not here, but same here. So, all right. Hey, I'll see y'all later.